I'm sorry. So we didn't play our theme song. We had some technical difficulties, and I'm so sorry. And even if this worked, we have to start over. So you guys missed out on our cool entry, our cool theme song. But we were talking about we were talking about the fact that, well, I'm Teri Denine. Let me reintroduce myself. Teri Denine, author, playwright, content creator, and I have met so many people throughout my life. And I've talked to women from all backgrounds, marital statuses, and whatever. And everybody has a strong opinion about the Black woman in America, number one, and all the misnomers that exist regarding Black women. And so I kind of wanted to randomly choose some of my friends. Now, these ladies, just so you all know, they only have one friend in common, and that's me. These ladies don't know each other, and we're just trying to forge something here, and we'll see what that becomes. But at the end of the day, I thought it would be very interesting to pull these women together, as I know they're all very strongly opinionated. None of us professionals in any of these topics we're going to discuss, none of us celebrities, so we're not playing to a fan base. But I thought it would be interesting to pull us together and let's talk about the things that I may think about in private, the things that some of you may think about in private, and things that we all may consider when we're in public, going out and about and seeing other, women of color. So one thing I did want to talk about is natural hair. And I have an article from the Michigan Feminist Studies, a 2008 issue, where Cheryl Thompson wrote some things about this topic. And I just want to read a quick excerpt. She says, for many Black women, with natural hair or otherwise, hair isn't just about a crown. It's a force guiding your life and defining who you are. The greatest truth of natural hair is that no one can understand the depth of feelings and even changes that this kind of hair evokes. Natural hair can influence the kind of men that are attracted to you and even shift family dynamics. We need to unpack that one. Most notably, natural hair can change you. Going natural may bring up deep-seated issues of insecurity or low self-esteem. Now, I know we all have opinions about this, from the Black women to the men and all the other. So I'm curious, Lene, what opinion do you have about this? What is your perspective?
I've had, all my life, I've had a relaxer. Used to have long hair. And just recently, I'd say within the past 5 years or so, I have, finally cut it off and have gone natural. And I'm just upset that I didn't do it years ago. It's extremely freeing. I don't care about the weather. I don't care if it's raining or if it's humid out. I don't have to worry about that. I can just get up and go. I don't have to wake up an extra hour earlier to mess with it. I don't have a flat iron. I don't have a curling iron. I don't even have a blow dryer. I just wash and go. And it's just very freeing. And I don't know why I didn't do it a long time ago, but it's just, I don't know. It's something about it, not having to worry about that is just very freeing.
That's got to be freeing. Oh my goodness. I get that part.
Yeah,
Leora, what's your perspective?
So I just have so many, I guess, I won't say mixed feelings about it. Because my thing is, if you want to relax your hair, relax your hair. If you don't want to relax it, don't relax it. Personally, I love natural hair. If I want to take my braids down and wear my fro, I'll wear my fro. I think the frustrating thing with me that I've noticed, like in being on different forums on like social media and stuff like that, is like I've noticed a lot of men, and I noticed that you mentioned that, Teri, about how men like it can be a deciding factor to the kind of man that's attracted to you. And like I'll hear men or see men say, "Oh, I don't do the natural hair thing," or I've even seen men who are like, "Well, if she has a relaxer, she's not woke enough for me," or and I'm like, it's just hair, really. Like, whatever your personal feelings is about it. Personally, I love natural hair. Like Lene said, it's just free. When I wear my natural hair out, I can just wash it and go on about my business.
There you go. And there you have it. Shanna, do you have an opinion on this?
I really do. I really do. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll move my mic for you.
Oh,
But basically, it says yes. It's my real hair. I get. Gosh, there's so much to say. Point one. Yes, there's a racial component because I've actually had people at my job, former boss, who felt the need to touch my hair, which is very inappropriate
Right.
and slightly strange. I didn't like that, so I tried to wear my hair pulled back in a bun for a while, only because I just didn't want to attract that kind of behavior. To one of the other points that were surfaced in the article, the family dynamic. I always noticed that, like, even with like my cousins, there was always a distinction and a very clear difference in how I was treated versus the way they were treated. So granted, their hair wasn't weird and curly like mine was, but they still had a certain beauty to them that I felt was devalued because of certain stereotypes that existed. I come from that kind of family where, you know, they would have like the paper bag test of, you know, all Black people should know what the paper bag test is by now, but that was a reasoning and a logic behind how my other cousins were treated versus how I was treated. It also brought up a lot of questions like, wow, do you have a Black father? You know, because, you know, it's not possible for, you know, two Black people to commingle and come up with a kid with wavy hair. Like, where is that done? What genetics does that fall under? So bottom line, I have a lot of feelings about this. Not all of them good. I guess it's a mixed bag, but when you look at it, I think the article definitely touches on some hot button points that we definitely should consider. I mean, in the time I've spent the last year on a natural hair journey, I stopped putting a permanent, and, you know, I'm using like different products now that are, you know, like I'm making them at home. Thank you, quarantine. But I feel like that's definitely the way to go. I'm going to advocate it for someone else. So there you have it. My fourth.
I get it with the straight hair. I think I stopped perming back in 2000. So
Nice.
you know, I had a conversation. I'm going to get to the rest of you ladies, but I did have a conversation with someone some years ago, and his opinion was, I think it was a Rastafarian that I was speaking to, and he had an opinion that when a Black woman perms her hair, it's because she's trying to emulate white women. And, you know, I totally disagreed with that at the time because I have naturally curly hair and I perm my hair to get the versatility. Sometimes you want the different look, or sometimes you want the different feel. It had nothing to do with wanting to be anything other than what I was. I thought I was just fine how I was. But I questioned it over the years. I'm like, what, did I get it wrong? Or, you know, what do you guys think about that? Do you think women perm their hair because they're trying to emulate white women?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, I feel like we perm our hair, we want to wear it natural, and we want to have these options. We want to be able to switch it up. That's what we do. We like doing that. We like, you know, having different looks, different textures. You know, that's just a choice that we have. We're not trying to be white just because we straighten our hair. So, and I just feel like the natural look, it just seems that there's always this negative thing put on natural hair. And that's why a lot of women, they you know, move away from the natural look because of the negativity that's associated with it. People calling you nappy head and, you know, all of these, you know, derogatory names. Yeah, it goes toward the natural look. And that needs to stop. That has to be done. We got to be done with that. We need to move from that. Definitely.
Do you think that more women, like you said, it seems like women are afraid to go natural because of the things that are said, those negative connotations. But I you don't think that more women are going natural these days?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there are women going natural, but then there's some women that are not. They're stuck in that place. Like they're not sure if they want to, and worried about what somebody might say. Like when they're going to work, they might, feel uncomfortable having the natural look. Just like Shayna just mentioned, people trying to touch your hair and
Exactly.
asking all these questions, and they don't want to deal with that. So they just
Conform.
sort of, they just pretty much conform. But then also with straight hair, and also with the weaves and wigs, I mean, I wear them, I have no problem with it. I like wearing it because I like the look. I like to change it up. And then there's some people that do wear wigs, weaves, and then they go back to natural, and then they may have some, they may have some medical condition like lupus. Their hair might be falling out, and then they may need to cover it up with clip-ins and things of that nature. Or they may have alopecia. They may have folliculitis. They may have, you don't know what's going on with people, and people need to be just accepting of that.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, because not only that, there are also medical reasons, and there are also just natural reasons. A woman has a change in hormones at times, or she may have some medical reason why she cannot do that. And not only that, as Black women tend to, and this is not just owned by Black women. White women perm their hair. White women use chemicals in their hair as well. And I think that our hair doesn't stand up so well to the perms. You start to lose your edges. You start to lose your hair. It starts to thin out. All these things. So that's definitely a factor that people should consider. And I think at the end of the day, it's a personal choice, and it's what you think. Leora, I'm curious to see what you think.
Okay. Oh, so concerning the especially when it comes to like, oh, you're wearing your hair straight or wearing it natural or whatever, I feel like you can do whatever you want to. I don't like the I guess the bullying that kind of comes along with it. Oh, like, oh, you straighten your hair, you want to be like white people. No, like, I just want to straighten my hair, like, and it's just like, white women or Hispanic women with curly hair, when they straighten their hair, they're not trying to be like anybody else. They just want to straighten their hair. So I'm like, I'll do what I want to with my hair. If I want to wear my fro, I'll wear my fro. And I think it's just with the way, like Jackie said, with the wigs and stuff like that. Some people just like diversity. I'm not a wig person personally. Like, I just it's issue for me. So I prefer my braids. Sometimes I'll wear my fro. That's just my preference. But bottom line, kind of mind your business. When it comes,
Exactly.
and don't touch my hair. Bottom line on that. Don't touch my hair. This isn't a petting zoo. This is not
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
Let's talk about another point that Cheryl Thompson made in her report, and she's saying that natural hair can influence the type of men that you attract. What do you think about that? Because I can tell you this: I've heard men talk about, oh, I don't want anybody with fake hair. I don't want this. I don't want that. And you do turn around and see them with a woman with a big old weave, like like whatever. So what do you think about that? About men that think this, about men that Black men that may say some disparaging things about Black women with natural hair.
Yes, absolutely. And I have actually heard that plenty of time in dating. I've heard that from family members. I heard that from my ex-husband, like someone who preferred, actually it was the opposite, someone who preferred like weave or straight hair. Anytime I wore my fro, he was like disgusted. So for me, it's kind of like, if hair is a deciding factor for you, then you may have some deeper issues. Like, it. I mean, I won't even get started on some of the things that I've heard about, like, just hair, like men who don't like natural hair. Oh, it looks like taco meat. I've heard all kinds of stuff. So
I've heard them say they don't want to feel like they're dating a man.
Yeah. It gets interesting. Don't cut it
Taco
well.
meat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Lene's cut short. Like, I've heard men say, "Oh, that looks like taco meat. I feel like I'm dating a dude." Okay, well, maybe that has to do with your masculinity, not my hair. That's all. So
Oh, wow.
I'll leave that alone. I won't get deep into. I'm not a psychologist or anything, so I
No,
won't
but
get deep into that. I'm just saying.
So
Mm.
I feel like there's a lot of like self-hate when a man is saying those kinds of things, because okay, his hair is the same texture as ours. So what is he saying? What
Correct.
is he really saying? He's saying that he doesn't like the hair on his head.
On his head.
So he has an issue.
What about the hair on his mother's head, or his sister's head, or his auntie's head, or his daughter's
Exactly.
head? What about that?
Exactly. And it's just so sad that, you know, we're being demonized for our hair, something that naturally grows out of our heads.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
because you can't take it to the bank. I mean, at the end of the day, they can't take your hair to the bank. So
Exactly. And it's so weird
Right.
that why are men so like, they're so you know, obsessed with our
Judgmental.
hair?
Yes.
I mean, there's so many other important things to be worrying about besides a woman's hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
why
you.
are they so? They got to check up under there, make sure you don't have any tracks, and you know, got to do a weave check and all that. I mean,
Right.
it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and that's what they are gonna judge on their mate, who they're gonna date. That just makes no sense.
Right. So I want to read another excerpt, just one more excerpt from Cheryl Thompson's report. And she says, Lindsay, a third-year law student, has faced similarly unfair circumstances. The hardest thing about going natural in the workplace is vulnerability, she explained. The nakedness you feel when someone slowly glances at you, taking in your hair fully. The student said she considered straightening her hair for an interview with a New York law firm. She added, but then I had a thought. After 19 years of school, how is my hairstyle a reflection of my competence and measure of success? I'm going to throw that one at you, Lene, because you took that step. You say you had a long head of hair, you cut your hair off. How empowering was that? And did you care afterwards what anybody thought? Lene?
No, I've
Yes, you
never been a person to care what anybody thinks. Yeah. Sorry about that. Never cared what anybody thought. I was just to the point where I was just tired of the relaxers. I was tired of constantly blow drying and just the whole process. And I was tired of worrying about my hair. It was no big deal. You know, I went to the hairdresser, I had a long ponytail down my back, and she held the ponytail and had the scissors. And she said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I said, "Yes." And my oldest daughter was with me. And she looked at my daughter and she was like kind of questioning. She said, "You're really sure?" I said, "Yes, cut it." She went snip, had the ponytail in her head, and that was it. And it was like, boom, it just felt good. I did not care if anybody liked it or not. Yeah. No.
Oh,
That's got to be incredible.
And I have not turned back.
Heck yeah.
That's got to be incredibly empowering. Wow. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Thank you, ladies, for that. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that struggle with this. And Lene, you, since you took that major step, maybe there's somebody out there that is on the fence, you know, about cutting their hair, and like maybe they'll have, you know, the guts to do it now after
Just
listening
do
to
it.
how empowering it is.
Just like Nike says, just do it.
Yeah, it's hair. It'll grow back, right?
Right, it grows back.
So I want to, you know, piggybacking off of that topic. Now I don't know that this has any relation to hair, whether it's natural, whether it's straight or whatever. But I want to talk about the I guess the flack that we take about women who might be passionate about something. You might be in a supermarket, or you might be somewhere and someone does something. Doesn't matter if it's a black person, white person, but someone does something to that pisses you off, and you're going to show some emotion. So what is it about this angry black woman syndrome? Like, how do you guys feel about that? If you show passion, if you show, you get pissed off about something, because we have the right to get pissed off about something, you know, what do you all think about that? The angry black woman syndrome. Shane, I'll throw that out to you.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Tap me in. So I have a major problem with anyone who feels the need to suppress who I am on the inside. Okay. I'm a reasonably confident Black woman. I'm educated. I'm not a fool. I don't lay hands unless it becomes necessary. So I know how to conduct myself accordingly. I have a problem with people in the workplace and people just in general, be you on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you feel like you're on, thinking that you have a right to tell me how to feel and how to express myself. I'm a grown ass woman. You've got to be out your motherfucking mind if you think I'm going to temper that, put it on pause to suit you in your I've never met yourself as, and change who I am as a woman, as a being. Fuck you. And if you don't like it, too bad. I'm tired because I don't see anyone saying any of these things to a white woman. I don't see anyone saying any of these things to, anybody who seems to be of a lighter persuasion. So why on earth are they bringing it to my door? No, go take it up with Miss Thing in the Park, who's, throwing dogs at people. Go take it up with someone else and get off my doorstep. Don't muddy my doorstep. That's my opinion. There it is. 4 cents.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
tell us how you really feel.
I know.
Really though.
The fuck out of here with that bullshit. You would sound crazy. And that's, and I mean, like, how do you guys feel about it? Like, do you get as offended as I am or no?
It's a real thing, and somebody might make you think you're crazy, but I'm pretty peaceful. I just throw love out there wherever I can. But I can tell you, I was on the line. I think I don't know, Target or some store like that, and I was returning something. I was purchasing something. I had 2 items in my hand, and the person behind me, a Caucasian woman, had 3 items in her hand. 3 to my 2, and she asked me if she can go first, if she can go ahead of me. So I said,
No.
very quietly, very nicely, I said, no. She went off on me, and everyone in the store, because the store was packed and there lines all over, and everyone's looking at me because I'm now the angry Black woman.
Angry. Oh,
Why should I let her
wow.
go ahead of me? I have 3 items. She has 2. Okay, wait your turn, lady. Any other time, it would have been no big deal for me. Go, absolutely. I even turn around and say, hey, you want to go ahead of me? If I see someone with few items. But the 1 item, I didn't think that warranted
Yeah.
her going ahead. But she just wanted me to say yes, and I didn't say yes. And she lost it. And everyone's looking at me like I did something wrong. And I said to myself, there's something very wrong happening right here. Like, it's the sense of entitlement, I suppose.
That's that
It
privilege.
is.
That's that. Yeah.
That privilege. Yeah.
Yes,
It is.
definitely.
It is that privilege.
Leora, I know you wanted to jump in. What did you want to say?
I mean, I just have so much to say on the topic, and I know I have very little time. The topic itself, it just frustrates me because I hear it. It's like all the time. It's a rhetorical kind of thing. Like, it's repetitive. That we're the angry Black. We're not allowed to get upset, and when we do get upset, we need to be calm and cool about it. So personally, when I get really angry, I shut down because I know me and my mouth. I know my mouth is slick. And I shut down because if I have to get out of character with you, then I already know it's over with. Because I don't just go off to like out of anger. No, I shoot from the hip. I shoot to kill with my mouth. So that's why I've learned to hey, shut it down. Because I notice, especially when you're dealing with, and I'm not male bashing. I want to put that out there, but I've noticed, I've even had Black men say, "Oh, well, that's why we go for white women because y'all are so angry." We're not allowed to get angry to the point of, expressing ourselves, in a way that, is, we don't get to explode or anything, And even when we are upset and we shut down, oh, that's bitter. You're being bitter. Or there's a comment about that because you're quiet, So it's like, where do we find a happy medium where it's acceptable? Because at this point, I'm with Shayna, fuck you.
Yeah, and that's a good question.
Because I'm so over it.
Yeah, it's a good question because it's almost like we are expected to just shut up and dribble, or it's the same thing as we're supposed to take the high road. We are, as Black people, and particularly as Black women, are always supposed to take the high road. And I know Michelle Obama says, "Oh, when they go high, you go low." Sometimes you got to meet them at the bottom. Sometimes you have to meet them at the bottom. Let
I'm
them know
with
who the F
Teri.
you are.
Yes.
Because enough of this already. So why should we just always be poised to take the brunt? You know what I mean? Why should we always be ready for the strike? Like, no, we're going to fight back. Like, we're going to demand our pride and our dignity. We have the right to that. We have the right to be pissed off if something is wrong. Enough of the silence.
Exactly.
Lene, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I
Lene?
totally agree. I just think, you know what, we are who we are. And I think we have to stop bashing and bashing each other and hating on each other and just accept us as individuals. Just because we're a Black woman and we, get angry at the Target doesn't mean we're an angry Black woman. I mean, we just got pissed off at Target that day. I mean, we have to just get rid of all of these little stereotypes and all of these things just with the hair. If you want natural, then wear natural. It's okay. If you want, a relaxer, then wear a relaxer. Like, who cares? And just, look at each other and just say, you know what, you're a beautiful woman, and just let it go. And sometimes we have good days, sometimes we have bad days, just like everybody else. It doesn't make us, any different.
Exactly.
So I just think we have to let go of all of these things.
Yeah,
exactly.
we've seen all the footage about the Karens and
it's like,
what's up with that? Nobody makes a big deal out of that.
Yeah, you never hear angry white woman, you never hear angry Asian woman, you never hear any of these. And then when those women are angry or expressing themselves, they're seen as sexy and spicy. A Latino woman cussing somebody out, she's sexy and spicy and sassy, and there's a positive connotation going toward that woman, as opposed to if a Black woman is doing it, it's completely negative. Exactly. And nobody likes you, and you're evil. You're you can't nobody can talk to you, nobody can work with you. You're just unapproachable, and all these negative things that go along with it.
Yeah.
Well, it's been said that the Black woman is probably one of the most least respected humans on
That's correct.
planet.
Absolutely.
Yep. That's what Malcolm X said. The Black woman is the most disrespected in the world.
Very true.
Yep.
Very true.
Totally
So
agree.
with that being said, a lot of this may play into colorism in America. So, and I hate airing this. I hate that we have to even talk about this, but I think that, when we talk about things, it brings it to the fore and it makes us have to look at it no matter how ugly it is. So speaking of colorism in America, and I hate doing this because I feel like I don't believe in airing our dirty laundry, but at this point it's already out there. So Shana, you mentioned, you touched on it earlier about the brown paper bag test. I hate the thought of that. I hate the thought of that amongst our own people, but it is what it is. Do you feel that this is a real issue, dark skin versus light skinned?
Yes.
What are your
yes,
thoughts?
Period. Here's the reason why I think so. You have so many people that think about it from a parenting perspective. As a parent, the tools you have going into shaping and molding your child are the ones you yourself have experienced. So those are the things and principles you're going to lean on. Those are the things and principles you're going to lean on in order to teach that child. It falls under the same basis when you've already had predisposed behaviors and languages that have been used throughout your family's history and just get passed down and passed down and passed down. So because our our families would have started out, let's say, in some level of slavery. They experienced, while they were enslaved, a varying difference in how well they were received by their masters if the color of their skin were different. So, just to make it plain, if you were of darker skin, you were treated poorly. If you were a lighter skin, you were treated better. Maybe not 100% with respect, but it was now something that everyone wanted because everyone would like to not be treated poorly.
Poorly, right.
Having said that, I think it's a huge stumbling block and a huge hot button issue that will either bridge or break the Black America you see right now. Because if we can get past that one issue, I think you'll see a lot more unity. I think you will see a lot less crabs of the barrel mentality in terms of how people interact with each other. Some of the things that we were starting to kind of move past while you had, the civil rights movement, the things that we were kind of starting to see on the horizon before all of our key leaders were slain and murdered, you would start to see that kind of come into fruition again on a bigger scale. And I think we have the environment to do it. I just don't know if we ourselves realize we have the ability and the need. What do you think?
Gotcha.
Terry, how do you feel about
Lyra, I know you're probably bursting at the seams. What are your thoughts on colorism in America?
I have, like before, I have so many thoughts on it. I've been kind of on both sides of it. And so I just want to first say to like people watching this, for darker skinned women and lighter skinned women, like if a dark skinned woman is expressing this to you or, like in a way that Shayna has, just expressed herself, like to say, oh, well, we're all black, let's just move forward. It's kind of an all lives matter mentality. Like, oh, we're all human beings. Well, we already know we're all human beings, but this person is telling you their struggle of, what they've experienced and the history of it. Like Shayna said, it's definitely a slave mentality. The whole old light skin versus dark skin. I didn't grow up with that. I had dark skin cousins. I had lighter skin cousins. I didn't hear the dark skin versus light skin thing until I was probably well into my 20s. Like I was probably 20 years old when, somebody was like, oh yeah, you got the light skin, you're beautiful. I'm like, wait, what does one have to do with the other? Like you just made my friend feel like she was ugly because she's darker skinned. Like that nothing you just said makes any sense to me. So I struggle to wrap my mind around the entire thing because I've even had people say to me, actually, this happened to me last week where someone asked me what was I mixed with because I have great skin. And I'm like, my mama black and my daddy black. What you mean? Like, so the whole light skin versus dark skin, for all I know, somebody had to be raped for me to have light skin. So I'm not about to
Thank you.
Exactly.
So if that's the game you want to play, then it's really just a slave mentality to me. I can't, I have so much to say on the subject. It's really disgusting to me.
It is. Oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of like the
shouldn't
good hair,
exist.
bad hair thing. Like, oh, you got good hair, like that's more acceptable. You know what I mean? So
I think we're getting more away from that now. I don't think it's as important or, in the forefront as it used to be. Am I wrong? I don't think it's.
I got a story to tell.
Go
I
ahead.
got a story. I got a story to tell. Okay, so
Go ahead.
I was on a dating site. I think I told Terry this situation that happened with me. So I'm on a dating site, and this brown skinned man, talking to him on there. He's about my complexion, and with exchanging messages back and forth on there. And he decided he's going to give me his telephone number so we can talk. So he gives me his phone number, and I reach out to him. Well, I sent him a text message just to let him know that, who I was. So I didn't just call his number. So I text him, and he's like, okay, before we get into this conversation, what kind of relationship are you looking for? I said, well, on my profile, it does say I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So that's what I'm looking for. So he said, oh, well, good luck with that. Right. So I said, oh, what's the problem? So he's like, I like light skin. Now, this was last year. This happened last year. So this is still going on. So he says, yeah, I like, yes, 2019. This is still going on. So he says, I like light skin. So I'm like, oh, so why did you even, reach out to me? Why did you even give me your phone number, first of all? And he's like, well, I like light skin, and that's what I would go for if I was, wanted a relationship, but I would have sex with you. This is what he said on a text message. I'm not lying. And you know what I did? Block, delete. That was it.
Get out of
the end
here.
of it. I'm like, this was last year. So this is still going on. Still going on. You have colorist black men out here still playing those kind of games.
Well, that's their problem, not mine. I just can't be bothered with that kind of nonsense. And you know what? Good luck to you. Good luck to him trying to find somebody.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So I didn't feel anything about it because I love my brown skin.
Right.
I never wanted to be light.
Good.
I never tried to lighten my skin. I never ever wanted to be lighter than I was. So that it didn't bother me. He was trying to, I guess, get under my skin, so to speak, no pun intended. But I had I just moved on. I just moved on from it. I was not going to sit there and fight with him. I wasn't going to, get on my phone and become the angry black woman. It becomes the angry black woman.
There's nothing to say. Next.
Yeah, nothing to say. So that was it. Done.
Do you think people like that can be educated?
Who cares?
Well, this man is in his 40s. This man was in his 40s. So if he's still on that level at that age, then I don't know what to say. Yeah,
not my problem.
He needs really a lot of work.
Yeah, it's really a sad narrative, and there's so many of them that do feel that way. And luckily, if we could just know who we are, know our beauty and our worth, it doesn't even matter what because to me, I think that's ignorance on his part. That's just my opinion. It's ignorance on his part because we know our beauty, we know our strength, we know what we bring to the table. So I never, like you, Jackie, I thought it's my black skin, my dark skin that makes me beautiful. And I never, ever thought about being anything other than who I am. So whatever. So let's move on. This is a question that I have for each one of you because I have my stories, I've had my experiences, but I wonder, speaking of natural hair, speaking of darker skin, brown skin, whatever the skin is, we're African-American women. And I always wonder, do you guys believe that white women have an innate disrespect for us as black women? I think I'll keep my opinion to myself for this moment, but what do you guys think? Has anyone ever had that thought or experienced something similar that would make you think that perhaps they just don't respect us? Besides threatening to take our men from us, have you guys had any experience in that?
Child, if he's that easy to get, take him.
Hello.
Well, I think I believe there is some there's some envy, there's some jealousy with our confidence. We have we walk with such confidence, even if we're say for example a woman who's like 300, 400 pounds. She is confident. That black woman is confident. She'll put on her little sexy tight outfit and go out there, and she won't even care. You've seen them. You've seen these black women. They are carrying their confidence, and they're just unapologetically, doing their thing. They don't care. And I think that white women see that confidence as like, wow. I wish I could be like that. Or I wish I had that confidence in my body, my skin. I mean, we age very well. So, I mean, we age gracefully. And I mean, that's another thing that I think that they're envious of. We age like fine wine, and they over there aging like bananas.
Thank you.
They aging like bananas. and we aging like fine wine. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Tell it. It's the
Do
truth.
you have a perspective on this, Leora?
For the most part, bottom line for me, I have a perspective, but at the end of the day, I don't care. I know, like, I've heard different things, like, even, when I work with Teri, someone said, oh, she thinks she all that. She has an attitude. No, she just walks confidently, and it's very intimidating when Teri walks by her heels and she's like, oh, hello, have a great day. Like, she's not giving you enough attention or whatever. Like, she just says, hi, have a nice day. And you find that, oh, she has an attitude. She thinks she's all that. Well, yeah, because she is all that. So, I mean, why are you mad?
Right. Tell us why you're mad.
Right. And that's I did it. I said, why are you mad? And then I don't understand it. So at this point, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm confident. If to you I have an attitude, then I have an attitude. If you don't like me, stay away from me.
And there you have it. And there you have it. There you go. Leora, you want to jump in here? I'm sorry, Lene, you want to jump in here?
Did you call me? Yeah, listen, I think in general, we're kind of we have a double problem. We're female and, and then being Black. I think it's a problem in this country, unfortunately. And I think everyone kind of disrespects us in general. Of course, I'm not, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, like you said, who cares? You have to do you. And I think kind of everyone other than Black feels that they have, seniority, I can't even say it, over us. And but we just have to, just keep powering on and just let it go.
Yep.
And just do us and just, keep moving on.
Exactly. And this is why I think it's so important. This is why it's so important. We had a previous conversation. And again, if anybody's tuning in late, we are all a group of strangers. Well, I'm the only friend in common with these beautiful ladies. They all know me. They don't know each other, but we're going to try to form somewhat of a camaraderie, sisterhood, if you will, amongst this group. And one thing that we did talk about is that, as we walk through our days, you see other Black women. Oftentimes, I know for myself, I've been in a lot of business. I've been at conventions. I've traveled, and I've seen. You could be at an event, and naturally, and I don't care if anybody's being honest. The first thing you look around the room and see how many people look like you, and will you gravitate to that person? Probably not. Especially if it's another woman. I have made a practice of gravitating to that woman. And I'm hoping that we all develop some sort of a mentality where we can do that, like, compliment our beautiful Black sisters. We talked about this, it's nothing to give a compliment. I think the more you do it, or the more you, even if you're not giving a compliment, but letting her know to receive you, I went to the post office. I did a quick story. I went to the post office on Friday afternoon, and it was 4:45. I know the post office closes at 5. I'm at the machine because I didn't want to go in there with the people. I didn't want to do that. So I'm at the machine and I'm trying to figure this stuff out, and it wants me to weigh my package, to measure it. And I'm like trying to figure it out. It's now 10 to 5, and I'm still trying to figure it out. It's now 5 to 5. And finally, at the last minute, I was buying stamps. I got to mail this package, get the postage. But a Black woman, who one might, if you looked at her initially, you might say she's an angry Black woman because she was coming and she was stomping and she's ready to go home. And I'm like, wait, is she coming to lock the door? Because I'm in the vestibule and I would have to go through the door to get into the post office. I'm done now. She locks the door. I'm going, is she kidding me? So I go to the door, and she walks over to the back doors and she's locking those. So I'm like, I would have to come out of my house again. It's enough to get me out of my house with this pandemic. I was like, I can't come back out here tomorrow. So I'm banging even harder. So she looks and I go, I'm buying stamps. I was buying stamps, right? So she comes back to the door and she goes, you know, I close everybody. I had to just honestly. So I'm like, I got to be nice because I'm not coming back here tomorrow. So I was like, girl, and I started I figured I had to meet her wherever the hell she was. And I met her there. We ended up laughing together. She let me in, and we still said another little parting joke, and I got my stuff done. But sometimes we got to work it. But we got to work on ourselves. We have to work on our sisters. We got to forge a sisterhood that is so fucking strong that if a woman, if you go anywhere, you even just walking down the street, and a woman doesn't acknowledge you or smile at you, say good morning to you, we want it to be so out there, so powerful that that person's got to know, damn, I'm whack. I got to do better next time. So I'm hoping that we could continue what we said, this pact that we made, that we're going to be kind to our sisters. We're all beautiful in our ways. We all have something to contribute. And we're hoping, look, you guys are strangers to each other. But again, I'm hoping that we form something that's so damn strong that we can even help others reach out, help each other build businesses, build generational wealth, help us all grow strong. I got some jewels to share with you guys, building money, making money, saving money, investing money. We're going to talk about all of that because we have to do that if we care anything at all about our future. So that's our show for today, ladies. I am so grateful for you guys. So glad that you guys were able to hang in there and let's talk about these topics that are difficult for most to talk about. So thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Let's do this again.
Yes.
See you next week.
Heard you get into it, well, let's talk about it. All day in the bank, let's talk about it. Spend a few checks, talking cheap change, well.